警察の許可も取
Got
ったっ
a
て。
minute?
No, not for you. I really have nothing more to say.
What if I told you it's looking more and more likely Ihara-san had a hand in Mikoshiba's death?
Well, it doesn't concern me.
Ihara-san
そうだな。
believes Mikoshiba tormented Toshiro-kun so badly that he took his own life. But neither the third-party investigation nor the courts were on his side. So what's the truth here? You know, don't you? What really happened between Mikoshiba and Toshiro-kun? Why won't you tell me the truth?
Why do you keep asking? I said I don't know.
I'm going to the detention center tomorrow to get some answers out of Ihara-san.
What?
I saw where Mikoshiba was murdered. He endured no shortage of cruelty before he died. They tortured him, you know. They broke all his fingers before they slit his throat.
No.
確かにすんごい死に方だよな。
And somehow Ihara-san knew Mikoshiba would be killed on the day he got caught for groping. It's like he did it to prove he had nothing to do with the murder. But maybe that wasn't his real objective at all.
Huh?
I think he wanted to signal that he'd finally avenged his son.
The body belongs to a guy named Hiro Mikoshiba. 4 years ago, this man took my son from me by driving him to commit suicide.
If I'm gonna face him tomorrow, I can't go in without some ammunition. So, 4 years ago, did Mikoshiba bully Toshiro-kun or not? That's all I want to know.
My answer won't change. There's no evidence Mikoshiba-kun did anything wrong.
まだ調べばっかりな
Sure
の
about
か。
that? Take a look at this.
That's...
Toshiro Ihara, your student. Imagine that he's listening to what you're saying now. If you can look at him and say Miko, in fact, you'll never... So...
4 years ago. Not long after I'd transferred here to teach English. That's when it started. I was trying my best to get acclimated, and I was finally on a first-name basis with everyone.
なるほどね。
One day, after school, I was out on the roof taking a break when Toshiro-kun suddenly ran by. I called out to him to ask what was
しかも
wrong,
地点じゃん。
but he shushed me and kept running. I saw he had a bloody nose. Moments later, Mikoshiba-kun showed up. He was looking for him. I told him I hadn't seen him. Toshiro-kun's face told me everything I needed to know.
So Mikoshiba was bullying him after all.
Yes. Toshiro-kun told me this
じゃあ
later
なんでお
on.
前黙ってたんだって
Whenever
話
he'd
になっ
leave
てくるな。
school with Mikoshiba-kun and his friends, they'd force him to hand over money. At first, they'd try to pass it off as a joke. They said since he lowered the class average on tests, he ought to buy them all drinks as an apology. And Mikoshiba-kun, he was having too much fun with it to stop. He started offering tutoring sessions to Toshiro-kun. Only so he and his crew could extract their
授業料ね。
tuition from him. They'd even break into his house while his mother was
カツア
at
ゲやん。
work and take the money she left him for dinner. And if he couldn't pay, they'd beat him up at school or make him grovel in the bathroom.
わあ、クソ野郎だ
Did
な。
anybody see what was really happening?
The teachers either saw nothing or turned a blind eye. Few students knew about it, though. Anyway,
だからか。
I ended up relaying everything Toshiro-kun had told me to those boys' homeroom teacher.
うーん。
Mind you, this teacher had tenure, title, and years of experience
あれだろ？
under his belt. Do you
握り
know
つぶ
what
したん
he
でしょ。
told me? He said not to cause a commotion because those boys were about to graduate.
ああ、だろう
Why
な。
does that not surprise me?
To be
さす
honest,
がだな、学校の
it
対
was
応。
hard to paint such an outwardly model student in a negative light. There was also no hard evidence to support Toshiro-kun's story.
ああ、顔の話はどう
Someone
なんだ？
still should have stepped in to help. If only I'd understood that at the time.
You tried.
The only thing I tried was to keep an eye out for him, making sure he wasn't alone, things like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't good enough.
だろうな。自殺しちゃったも
On
ん
the
な、
first
結局。
morning of the third trimester, Toshiro-kun tied a towel to his doorknob and hung himself in his room.
澤先生悪くはない
That's
か
when you
も
confronted
しんないけど
Mikoshiba,
な
right? You asked him point blank if he bullied him.
にしたってな。
I did.
結果論として死んじゃってるからな。まあ、責任を感じるのはまあ仕方ないか。本当だよね。
Mikoshiba-kun pretended to know nothing. He was more careful, shaken even, from then on. In all
あ
honesty, when I heard a third-party committee was investigating, I was hoping the truth would come out. Students were asked to fill out an anonymous questionnaire,
あ、それだけ
and many of them
マジで
wrote down exactly what they saw.
Hold on. Didn't the court end up declaring there was no substantial evidence of bullying?
本当だよな。う
How
ん。
could they have said
確
that
認
with。those questionnaires on hand?
でもアンケートな、微妙だな。
First of all, the committee never interviewed anyone directly. Those questionnaires were the only proof of anything. And the teacher of those boys was the one who collected them.
ああ、
Each
握
time
り
he
つぶし
came
てってこと
across
か。
any mention of bullying, he'd toss that questionnaire out. Also, he wouldn't get blamed in the end for ignoring the warning signs.
ああ、ク
So
ソ野
then
郎
the。committee was pointless.
そういうこと
A
か。
few
第三
students
者が入
did
って
speak
て
up
も、
about the bullying
中の人が
online. Their
握
posts
りつ
weren't
ぼ
much
そ
to
うと
go
思えば
on.
握りつぶせたってこと
Toshiro-kun's parents were completely caught off guard. His mother worked through the day,
あ、
and
大
his
変
father
だよ
lived
な。
all the way in Tokyo.
日曜を包めて。
That made
う
it
ん
that much easier for the teacher to cover up all the evidence of bullying.
うわ
He。made that statement without even consulting the principal or the chairman. So, right before Mikoshiba-kun graduated, the committee presented their findings, that there was no evidence of bullying. The conclusion you've heard over and over.
What the hell?
In Japan, 300 children commit suicide every year, across all grades. Less than 3% are proven to be linked to bullying. Toshiro-kun's case ended up like that too. But Ehara-san wasn't satisfied with those findings,
なんだろうな、
So
い
he
じめた側
sued
もだけど
Serio High,、
教師
demanding
だな、だいぶ。
compensation for Toshiro-kun's death.
主任か。
As the trial dragged
そうだ
on,
な。
I was eventually called to the witness stand. Of
で、言
course,
ったのか。
my intention was to let everything I knew out into the open. But before that could happen, that damn teacher came with the school's attorney to see how I
お
would
ー、クソ
testify.
野郎。
They didn't
お前
want
の
you
こと
making
訴え
them
るっ
look
て。
bad, huh?
Of course not. That's when I first learned what he did with those incriminating questionnaires. They had no choice but to reveal everything to me, to try and sway me to their side.
で
Guess they were just that desperate. After all, I was the only adult who Toshiro-kun confided in. I don't think he'd spoken to his parents about it once. So
あ
yes,
普通はな、そうだよ
that's
な。
why there was never any objective evidence of bullying. It wasn't like I had a mind to record our conversations. And I hadn't personally witnessed it either. The school attorney saw fit to remind me that the law says innocent until proven guilty. And if I couldn't produce tangible evidence,
まあそれはそれ
Then I
で、
shouldn't
まあ
be
そうだよな。い
accusing
じめは立証できない。そうだよな。いじめ
So
立
it
証で
was
きなかった
witness
から
tampering. That is, they coerced you into false testimony?
yes,
だからか。
Must have been
とはいえ
incredibly hard
な。
on you.
what I should have done was told the truth regardless.
まあ
But
真
what
実を
else
言っ
could
た
I
と
have
し
really
て
done
ど
for
うなん
him?
だろうな。まあな、
Some days I
操
just
作し
don't
直しって
know.
のは、
As much as I've tried to convince myself I did everything I could for him,
でもな、実際のさ、物的証拠がないとさすがに無理なんじ
So
ゃな
what
いか
happened to the teacher who covered all this up?
そうだよな。
he
犯人
transferred
どうな
to
った
another school. God, to think he's still standing at a podium somewhere.
わあ、マジか。
That's unfortunate.
Even so, I don't have the right to place the blame
と
solely
は
on
いえ
him.
だ、握りつぶしたやつとさ、脅されて言うしかなかった人間だと全然違うべ。
Maybe, but in that case, Mikoshiba's bullying of Toshiro, or those questionnaires getting discarded. Have you ever told anyone else?
No. I've been silent.
もういい。
Yagami-san.
理事長にも言ってなかったのか。
You know what? Back when I was a student in high school, I witnessed bullying firsthand.
まあ、
I
い
was
じめ
this
自体だと
kid.
普通なんだろうな。
My classmates pushed him too far. And one day he just jumped off the
ちょ
roof.
っと待って、そんなことあったの？
By some miracle, he survived the fall. And he's been in a coma for the last 13 years.
お、マジかよ。
Nobody knows if he'll ever wake up. His name is Mitsuru, and he may never open his eyes to the world again. His mom watches him, but she works full time. She's a higher up in the
シング
government.
ルマザーか。
I'm sorry to hear
ク
it.
ソ大変だな。あれ
The
なん
worst
か、
part is that his teacher knew.
なんかアニメで
He
そんなの
even
なかっ
talked
た
to
っ
the
け？
bullies about it. But all he said was, don't overdo it. But afterward, the public eviscerated him. He had to quit his teaching job.
そりゃそうだろ
And yet, for poor Toshiro-kun,
う。確かに
nobody
な。
was held responsible at all. And that includes me.
But if anyone was going to take responsibility for that, Mikoshiba should have been first in line.
まあ
I'm
死ん
sure
だから
Ihara-san must have thought the same thing.
だからか、だから殺したのか。
You
あ
know what
で
I
も分
wanted
か
to
んな
be
くも
as
な
a
いけ
kid?
どな。でも殺すのはやりす
I
ぎ
was
だ
so
ろ。
innocent, I wanted to be a teacher.
少なくとも
And
な、
after
裁判、
Mitsurukun's tragedy,
そっか、でも証
I
拠が
felt
ねえから
practically
さ、
obligated.
裁けないってのもあんのか。
I just let history repeat itself. I...
澤先生危ないんじゃね？話したこと。
Yagami-san.
Yeah.
Yagami-san.
確かにな、めっちゃ追い込んできたからな、この姉ちゃん。
I guess
や
so.
べえだろ。
I'm sorry.
Either way,
Yes.
都市伝説？
Well,
パパ活と都市伝説って何や？全く違うような気がするな。
Yagami-san.
飛行、そんなものは多分昔からじゃね？普通に考えたら。万引き？まあそりゃそうだろうな。そんなの、なんか普通にありそうなことだがな。真面目だったね。 不可解か？普通じゃねえか？飛行の元締め？まあそりゃあな、悪い大人にそのかされてね、よくある話だよな。
oh,
都市伝説っていう、なんかそのプロフェッサー、シャーロック・ホームズの、ちょっと待って、そんなにさ、シャーロック・ホームズをよく知っている、話のよく知っている人間が裏にいるってさ、
In other words,
それどうなんだ？それはあんたの想像じゃない？
so to sum it up,
no. Well,
ああ。裏サイトか。
yes.
おお、じゃあそこでさ、情報集めればいいんや。
unbelievable.
No.
Huh.
Yes.
お金も書いただけで願いが叶うな。書いただけで。しかもハングリか。ハングリのことも知らんか。チンピラか。
Right.
Well,
ああ、それでか。ケツ持ち。ヤクザか。JK ビジネス。
if I were to guess,
汚い。そりゃな、高校生 まあ需要はあるっちゃあるか。
Yes. Yes. Huh.
アプリ、グループ活動、学校専、ここの学校専用のアプリってことか。スクール日誌。おー、ユースドラマか。ユースドラマ、厄介な事件をユースドラマ。
Now that you mention it. No.
確かにそれ
Nishizono.
Ah.
Yeah.
原因不明の体調不良。
Hmm.
仮病やん。
Yes. Excuse me.
Huh?
Yes. Please.
またそのアピールやめとけ。も
Yes.
う最初踊った時でもう踊れることバレてるからね、完全に。やば、
It's a pleasure.
さすがキムタク、女にめっちゃ人気やん。
Got a song in mind? Go ahead. Which step should we work on? Go ahead and pick a costume. Got a song in mind?
もう調整なんてできる。
Okay, let's go. And a 1 and a 2.
やばい。
Here goes nothing.
難しい。意外と難しい、この。この全部押さないといけないってのかな。
And a 1 and a 2.
これ全部押さないといけないのは結構難しいな。これもしかして全部押さないといけないのってもしかしてベリーイージーだからか。さすがやな。おお、さすがやスマップ。
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
おいおいおい、マジかよ。
Hey.
Yeah. Oh.
清涼ラビッツ。
Sayaka-chan!
米角ってやつなんだ。元ダンス部3年生。受験のために引退。あ、女だけじゃねえんだ、実は。男もいて、女しかいないけどな。
Yagami-san!
へえ。
Hey, hey! Huh? Yes.
Sayaka-chan!
この二人付き合ってんか？
Yagami-san!
Hmm? Are you serious?
張り切ってる。
I see.
ん？どうした？お前らどうした？キムタクが話聞いてやろうか。
やるな。
UFO？ アブダクション。あー、UFO に連れ去られる感じのやつか。人鳥のエイリアン。誘拐されたのか。確かに。言った。だってバズリサーチってさ、ワード手に入れてからじゃないとでき、いや、それ以外でも多分できるはず。
Hmm?
犬？ああ、かわいいな。探偵犬？
Hmm?
探偵活動？犬が喋れないのに？まだ自分のこと名探偵だと思ってる。よかった。
Either way.
あらじゃないんだよな。
Sure.
そんなに間違い。これもそうなんですよ。誰が飼い主か分からない。
I see.
飼い犬が謎を追いかけるか。それが最大の謎。
Hmm?
Wait.
Huh.
頭いいな。本当だよな。
What?
かわいいな、お前、本当に。いいね、犬の相棒は。
Who's a good boy?
子供？
Hmm?
迷子？
Excuse me.
かわいい。待ってろ。
I see.
この子封筒持って中に手紙が。あー、手紙読まないんか。おいってこの子お願いしますって。
Hmm.
ああ、これは。せめて事情聞きたかった。ごめん。
お願いね。
渋谷みかん。
Hmm?
おお、マジか。優秀やんけ、この。
This way, huh?
みかんちゃん。
Excuse me.
ヤクザに絡まれてたから。
嘘。
闇金に金を。シングルマザーだからか。
Hey,
は？ 利子込みで900万。いやいやいや、それは
No way.
法外だろ。てめえとか、お前なんでビビってんだよ。お前ヤクザだろ。さすがにヤクザなのにキムタクにビビっちゃダメだ。うっしゃケツ持ちがいるんじゃないの。弁護士がこんなに強いなんてありえるんって感じだな。
In other words,
ええ。
no way.
なるほどね。
Excuse me.
お願いします。
おお。よかったね。
Who's a good boy?
探偵犬。飼い主は理由はどこなのそれは知らぬ存ぜぬか。アマゾンチノクよく見れば似てるな。顔
Seriously?
本当だよな。飼い主。
ヤグミさん。
乱歩って名前が乱歩ってどんだけミステリー小説なの。あ、すんとか。あ、何それみたいな。
Nope.
It can't be.
Huh?
Yes.
探偵犬として。
Yes.
Does that mean
ああ、家抜け出せるほど頭いいってことね。
What?
hey?
そこは犬なのね。
I'm sorry.
事件の匂い。おお、マジか。